Hello, my name is Oluseyi Ajetomobi. I'm a licensed realtor in Nova Scotia, and I'm with Royal LePage Atlantic. And I'm a proud member of the community of Nigerians living in Nova Scotia. The greatness of a community is measured by the actions of its members. That is why I'm supporting the ANNS 2022 debate as one of the sponsors of this historic event. Because alone, we can do so little, but together, we can do so much. Thank you.
Nova Scotia. We're having the Association of Nigerians in Nova Scotia's 2022 electoral debate. Before we proceed into the debate, I'd like to apologize that we are starting a few minutes late. I'd like us to please rise while we take the Nigerian and Canadian national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true precious love in all of us command. Car ton bras s'est porté l'épée, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée de plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel and Ogo Oluwa. Actually, we are supposed to take this while sitting down over there. Can I please have the second mic? Thank you very much. I would like to welcome everyone watching this event virtually from Canada, from Nigeria, all over the world, and everyone in person. We are streaming this event live from Halifax, Nova Scotia, from the hall of Halifax Christian Church. Today, I'll be moderating this debate with my colleague, Promise Okoy. My name is Onyi Orija. I'm the manager of Rewards Administration and HR Systems at Atlantic Central. I'd like to hand it over to my colleague, Promise.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Promise Okoy. I am the anchor person for Community Update. And with me here, Onyi, we promise to do the best we can to give us a very rewarding outing in the evening here with the debates we have at hand. I'm a Scrum Master professional, I'm a business analyst, and tonight we're going to bring business on the stage and make it a roll. So sit tight and have fun. Onyi, up to you.
Tonight's event is being organized by our media partner, M4 Media, and it will be streaming live in English on our YouTube channel. We would proceed with going through the housekeeping activities before we move into the next event. Over to you, Promise.
Yep, so just to make sure that the people in the building are aware of where things are, so we have exits and entry points, and that's all the way on the back there. We have the washrooms also on the floor there. You can actually access it through the entrance there. And we expect that anyone who comes in the building is showing proof of vaccination, just to make sure that everyone in the building is safe in line with the Nova Scotia health requirement. Right, so we have a seating arrangement here, which right on this side here we have the candidates, and on the other side we have the participants who are in person. And for all inquiries, please make sure that you're reaching out to the people we have at the Welcome Center. And to begin today's show, we want to invite the current president, ANNS, that is the Association of Nigerians here in Nova Scotia, in the person of Bob Shogbamu, to come give us his speech. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bob Shogbamu, the outgoing president of ANNS. I am so delighted to see each and every one of us here and all our people back home in Nigeria and streaming all over the world. This is a very delightful period for us to be handing over to very competent, very sociable, very impactful leaders in the community of Nigerians in Nova Scotia. We are very, very proud of you. So on behalf of the executive, the outgoing executive of ANNS, we welcome you to the home, we welcome you to the challenge, and we welcome you to the excitement that we are going to experience. So we expect today to be very decent, very sociable, very friendly, exchange of ideas, exchange of opinions. And we wish each and every one of the contestants the very best of your abilities as you take the stage. So on behalf of the executive members of the ANNS outgoing, we want to appreciate each and every one of the contestants once again. We appreciate you for taking over from us, and we are far more than happy to be able to support your tenure eventually when you come in. So on that note, I will hand over back to Promise, who is doing wonderfully, who is coordinating this event wonderfully, as well as Onye. And we appreciate each and every one of you for making the time out for us. So thank you, and let's have a wonderful experience.
Thank you. Please put your hands together for him. And with us too, we have the blessings and the presence of the Board of Trustees. And to give us an opening speech, or rather an address, it's going to be Mr. Alex Oragwe, who is going to be giving us the next address, and he is the Chairman, Board of Trustees. Thank you, sir. Please put your hands together for him.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. My name is Alex Oragwe. I'm the chairman of the Board of Trustees for ANNS. I have a very short address this evening. I'm presenting this address on behalf of all the members of the board. Distinguished members of Association of Nigerians in Nova Scotia, I bring you greetings from the entire members of the Board of Trustees. We're making history today as we gather to elect new executive members who will be piloting the affairs of our association for the next 2 years or so. We thank you for making our time to be part of this very important civic duty. We also appreciate the outgoing executive members for their hard work, dedication, and selfless service throughout the period of their tenure. To the aspirants, we thank you for accepting your nominations and for participating in this election. Please be reminded that you are offering yourselves for a noble service to our brothers and sisters as well as their families. All Nigerians living in Nova Scotia will be expecting you to impact their general well-being positively, irrespective of their belief, religion, state of origin, and so on. The expectation is that you will perform better than your predecessors. It is an established fact that during elections such as this, there will be interest groups whose aims is to sponsor or install or do all they can to see that their candidates succeed in the election. The board wants to use this opportunity to urge everyone to consider the overriding interest of the association as well as our common good in casting their vote. Our expectation is that all members of our association will cast their votes for the right candidates. We urge you to be guided by these three factors. The need to vote for candidates that possess capacity to move our association to the next level. Candidates who have presented a well thought out manifesto which contains achievable programs for the good of the association. And lastly, candidates who have been consistent in attending meetings and events of the association in the past. This is important because we cannot afford to undermine the gains already made in the past few years. Rather, we sincerely wish to have a new set of executives that understand the challenges of our union and work to move our association forward. In summary, the new executives need to hit the ground running in such a way that every member of our association will feel the impact of the leadership in no time. We appreciate the efforts and the commitment of the election committee in putting all this together. May we also appeal to all of us to conduct ourselves peacefully before, during, and after this election. We are all leaders in our own rights, and elections must not be a do-or-die affair. Let us always remember that we are ambassadors of our dear country, Nigeria, and that all eyes are on us in this election. Our African brothers and sisters are looking up to us, of course, to conduct a peaceful, democratic, and transparent election once more. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it in the past. Please let us do it again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We will go through the next stage of the debate, which would be to go through the ground rules. Tonight we have laid down certain ground rules to guide the debate structure for this evening. In-person participants, we would like to kindly ask that you mute your gadgets to avoid any form of distraction or interference. Candidates who will be going to the podium to speak, we would like to ask you to kindly stick to the time limit. We will not want to cut you off, but we will have to do so if you go above the time limit. Candidates, we would like to ask that you please do not interrupt each other when they are speaking. Please do not ask any questions, whether in person or virtual. We would like to encourage participants not to ask any questions that would be attacking the candidate's personality or any form of name calling for the candidates. We would also like to encourage the audience, whether in person or virtual, to display level of decorum when asking their questions. The duration of the debate is slated for 2 hours. It's meant to last from 4 to 6. We would try as much as possible to stick to the time, and within this time period, we would take questions from in-person participants and virtual participants. Over to you, Promise.
Thank you, Onyi. And that said, I would be giving us a sense of what the format will be today. So as Onyi has rightly mentioned, it's going to be for 2 hours. Expected to begin at 4, even though we started a couple minutes late. And we'll be closing about 6 o'clock. So we have 3 sections, main 3 sections for this debate. The first section is going to be for all other candidates other than the presidential and vice presidential candidates. And the second section of the debate will be followed by the vice presidential candidates, and the last, final section will be for presidential candidates. And basically, they will be having a couple of minutes to answer each of those questions, and we'll be having 5 questions online. We have some other questions that will be coming, 2 questions from the virtual participants, and then we have 3 in-person questions. And we would appreciate everyone who is streaming in online and the ones in the building to please make those questions as precise as possible and turn them in on time. And without taking much of our time, I will hand over to Unyi to do the next segment of today's debate.
Thank you, Promise. Okay, let's get started. I know everyone has been anticipating this time. We will open the debate, as Promise has said, with the introduction of our first set of candidates, the other candidates aside from the presidential and vice presidential candidates. Before we proceed, I would like to tender apologies for our PRO, Eukaria Remy Kingsley, who is unable to make the event tonight. However, she's still in the race and would encourage everyone to vote for her. She would appreciate your votes. In person, we have our treasurer, Moturaya Ojumu. Please clap for them as they come to the stage. We have our financial secretary, Abimbola Bamiwo, and our general secretary, Adewenro Adewole. So each will have 60 seconds to tell us about themselves before answering the general questions. Candidates, we would like to encourage you to please keep an eye on the timer. There's a timer to your left and another timer up at the wall for you to know when it's time for you to stop. As although we wouldn't want to cut you off, we would do so just to stick to time. Before we start, to identify which candidate would go first in telling us about themselves and answering the general questions, we would use the ballot system. So the candidates will each pick a number.
While that is being done, I just want to let viewers know that this event is sponsored mainly by Sheyi Ajetomobe. Oh, Sheyi Ajetomobe as a realtor. Sorry about that. And so he's one of our sponsors, and we have a lot more other people who have put together resources to make this event possible.
Okay, so who has number 1? Oh, Bimbo has number 1. Okay, who has number 2? What number do you have? Number. Okay. So with the format for the introduction of yourself and answering the question, is actually going to go the way they are standing. It would go from Bimbo to Moturaya and then to Wenro. So Bimbo, you have 60 seconds. Once you're done, the timer, you would see the timer, we would stop you, Moturaya would go, and Wenro would go. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Abimbola Bamiwo. I moved into Halifax 2018, May. I'm an information security professional, a managing consultant, governance, risk, and compliance. I was nominated for the position of the financial secretary of the Association of Nigerians in Nova Scotia. We are here for this debate to let you know, in our capacity, I will move our association forward after the election. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Moturaya Ojumo. I'm a business and digital marketing specialist. I work with This Is Marketing. And I want to thank everybody that nominated me for the position of treasurer. I came into Nova Scotia 2.5 years ago with my family. And I'm here to tell you that through my personal value, accountability, and transparency in all my dealings, I will ensure that every financial expenses and income are documented, well documented. Thank you.
My name is Oluwole Adegbenro. I think my name was misspelled, saying Adewale. I'm not Adewale. It's actually Oluwole Adegbenro. Yeah. Called to the Nigerian bar, Nigeria, Lagos. Moved to Nova Scotia 2018. And I can tell you, I work in Concentrics. I was one of the team leaders right now. And I can tell you it's been a great honor for people to actually see the value in me trying to make sure the association move forward. And one thing I can tell you is this, being nominated for the post of the General Secretary, I can tell you, if you're counting on a foot soldier, I'll bring the Secretariat down to your doorstep. Count on me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do apologize for giving you another name aside from the name your parents gave you. Okay, so the general question, I would like to encourage participants, if you have your questions, you need to have them ready, and those who are online as well to have their questions ready. The general question would be, how do you intend, and this question is for each of you, you would have some time to answer. How do you intend to work with whoever that emerges as the president and vice president for the election, from the election, to ensure that the needs of the Nigerian society is being catered for in Nova Scotia? And that we will start with you, Bimbo.
I will be working in the capacity as the financial secretary, and whosoever will be elected as the president of the association will have my support, and we will work together as a team in whatsoever tasks we have ahead and we are to fulfill. And where resources in terms of money in and out will be required, of course, it will be duly scrutinized, and where justified and rationales can be given, it will be made provided to whosoever will be leading the association in meeting the needs of our community. Thank you.
One thing I've noticed in all the people who would be in the position of the president and the vice president is that they have some core values, and that is transparency, accountability, adding values. They're not just there as, just to occupy space, but to give values to the community. Whoever is going to be in that position, I'm going to give all the support to them. And as a treasurer, I will ensure that every of the dealings, they are all documented and they are all scrutinized. They are justifiable. And that's all. I would make sure that they have all my support. Thank you.
One thing I can say is this: no matter who becomes the president or the vice president, one thing I can assure the team is I'm a team player, and I'm a very reliable person. I can give that assurance. So no matter who comes in as the president or the vice president, like I said, I'm a team player. And like I put in one of my posters, I said, attitude is everything. It's just a matter of me trying to make a balance between the right and the wrong, and as a team player, make sure everything is on a roll, that we make things right for the community to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, candidates. Does anyone have any question for them, for those in person? Any questions for the candidates? There's a question.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tolulola Oguntunde. I have two questions. The first one goes to Oluwole. Okay, as the General Secretary, given that we currently do not have like a brick or mortar secretariat, and if we chose to like go that route, we've been complaining about membership deals and stuff like that. How do you intend to balance it? Are you going to ask for, oh, we need a physical secretariat, or we are still going to be using people's homes as secretariat? Then for Moturayo, okay, as the treasurer, one of your tax responsibility will be to like, okay, seek for how do we manage funds, how do we get funds, possibly if we have to like get returns on our funds, how do you plan to get that, given that normally, if not for election years, members don't pay their dues? Thank you.
So, Mr. Oluwole, you would go first. You have about 25 seconds to respond to the question. Please go ahead.
I came in 2018, 2019 when I joined the association. I found out that we don't have one, and when I asked questions, and I think, what I got is it's a little bit difficult getting that financial funds to have that physical secretariat. And I'm sure these are one of the things we'll be working on, trying to see how we can get funds to make sure that we have a physical secretariat so that, there are some physical things we need to do that people need to come in to do. And another thing is we need to encourage ourselves to pay dues, because I think without the dues, it's really impossible for us to really, move ahead. And if the dues are not coming in, one thing I know, and I'll be able to put down with my team, is where do we need to get that source for us to get that cash to be able to, have a building of our own to call the secretariat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for that question. I want to tell you that people don't pay because they can't find value to what they're paying, for. I can't do that on my own. I'm going to work whosoever is going to be the vice president or the president, and everybody as a whole, as a team. And one of the things we want to do is to create values, and I'm going to ensure that it's we'll enforce it. What are we giving to the people? Because when you give values to the people, they will pay. You don't have to cajole them. It's not a gimmick. You're not using a enticing word. The website is not functional. Let's make the website functional. Let's make everybody get, their own personal profile where they can actually log in. Let's even know how many people are in our community, right? Whereby you know how many people came in, the students are there. Let's the people, their parent knows, as they have that quality, that value, that okay, Nova Scotia is a place where you can actually come home, because they know that their children have support. So there are so many things we can actually do. By bringing all these things forward as a team, we are creating values. And before we could even tell people, they will actually pay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay.
My name is Richard Ojabulu. My question is for the Financial Secretary and Treasurer. What are your financial background, and what type of financial statement will you be preparing for this association?
Okay, so we will start with the FinSec. Go ahead.
Currently, I do not have a professional financial background, but in all my dealings, I have been involved financially in an informal way, financially, in my dealings in my associations, either professionally or just literally. So I do not have an accounting background. I have a computer science background. However, that does not stop me or hinder me rendering a financial support to the association. And of course, like you know, it's a financial secretary position. Yes, where there are needs in terms of financial reporting, I know requirements that are expected for our financial requirements, for our financial reporting and auditing requirements. Yes, and if there are needs outside my jurisdiction, I can always extend and reach out. However, as reporting and working also along my career, I've worked in an accounting firm before. So for reporting standards and reporting regulations is what I am aware of. And of course, we have to comply as an association.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
I want to give a brief background of my past extensive experience as in the financial industry. I worked in UBA Bank in the past, and I actually worked as an accountant in the downstream oil and gas. And aside this, I was a volunteer and as a treasurer, and I would just mention a few of the things I did in my past experience. I was elected as a treasurer during my my undergraduate days at the University of Ibadan, Redeemed Christian Fellowship, and in final year brethren. And what did I do? I made sure that I reassessed the cost of every event. I prioritized quality over quantity. I managed the budget, and I keep the financial cost effective at the top level. I was also elected as a treasurer in my postgraduate level when I was actually a master's student in the University of Ibadan at the new hall in UI. That's 2007 and 2008, where I supported the fundraising of the hall. 2011 to 2014, I was a treasurer and financial secretary for Living Faith Church at district level, and that is at Arlen, Ikeja.
4 seconds left.
Where I'm actually managed dealings. Presently, I'm an acting financial secretary and treasurer in the host association of my faculty of University of Ibadan, where I manage all the expenses of the extracurricular activities. I keep the association financial sustainable. I think with all these extensive experiences, I'm going to put all these transferable skills to use.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other question in-house? Okay. Our in-person participants, we don't have any questions online as well. I would like to encourage people to ask questions. Before we proceed to the next session, we would like to appreciate one of our sponsors, FT Dishes, for all the support she's provided to make this event a successful one. FT Dishes provides sumptuous meals, African sumptuous meals. She makes it available for us Nigerians in Halifax and Nova Scotia. Over to you, Promise.
And we also have Flanger Foods. We all know Flanger Foods. They are sponsors here. Please put your hands together for them. And just in case you're wondering, one of our best in Nova Scotia, Williamba Production Photography, also our sponsors. We have Merchant Fashion House, our sponsors. Please put your hands together for them. And our beautiful Topsy Crunches snacks. Please put your hands together for them. And also the one that we are always proud of, Simply Go Natural. Please put your hands together for them. Yep, that being said, we would be loading those who are on the stage right now. Please, as they go back to their seats, give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so before we go into the next section, we have gift cards which have been contributed by one of our sponsors, Mr. Sheyi Ajetomobi. There are there are 5 gift cards and souvenirs to be won. And we will go through the questions through the whole program. We have the first question. If you're online and you're listening, please do type the answer if you know the answer. And if you're in person and you know the answer, please do beckon on us. We will come over to you. No, the candidates are not allowed to participate. Okay, the first question. The ANNS bylaw is formulated under what act? There's no 50-50. There's no call a friend. One answer, and that's your final answer.
No lifeline.
Anyone to go? The ANNS bylaw is formulated under what act? Promise. It's like we will take the gift home.
Definitely. Yeah, just don't forget that we have a lot of goodies to take home, and we have another question right here. Just be attentive. And so this is going for someone online. If you are able to give us an answer to it, it looks like we have someone giving us an answer from there. Don't worry, there's a gift card here. There is a souvenir here, all courtesy of Sheyi Ajetomobi. Oh my goodness. Ajetomobi.
So we have an answer online, and unfortunately that answer is very close to being correct, but it's incorrect. It says Privacy Act. You're very close. Another try. Anyone in person? Yes, we have someone who wants to give us an answer.
All right. And second?
A Canadian not-for-profit organization, is that correct?
Did you hear him?
What did he say?
The Canadian non-for-profit.
You're very close.
Very close, very close.
Very,
Unfortunately,
very close.
you didn't get it, but that was close anyway. Put your hands together for him, please.
Any other try? It's something you would love to win. But unfortunately, you're a candidate, so you cannot participate. Okay, so we have 2 answers online. One person said, oh, actually 3 answers. One said Not-for-Profit Act, which is very close but not the answer. Another one said Societies Act. Okay, so that's kind of half of the answer. And I'm not sure, Promise, what do we do? It says society. It could be Nigerian Societies Act. It could be the K-Guide Society Act, right? It could be any society, even the Children's Societies Act. But we're looking for the right society.
Only I think if it is either the answer or none. So
I'm sorry.
let's keep trying.
Okay, so that's incorrect. Any other person in-house that wants to try? Nova Scotia Society. Did you check Google? Yes, please give him a round of applause. That's the answer. It is Nova Scotia Societies. Actually, someone typed it online. I don't know who answered it first. You were fortunate to have said it before the answer came in, before they clicked send. So we have a winner for that particular question. Please clap for Brother Manny.
Hey, Brother Manny. All right, so we are getting ready to go to the next section of this debate. And this event, again, is organized by M4 Media, the host to Community Update. So we have the next set of people who will be coming up on stage. And so we have the vice presidential candidates. And so we have 3 people who will become the candidates who will be coming up here. And please, when you hear your name, just march to the stage there and let's get started. So we have first is Omolola Agbaje Williams, LAW. LAW. She represents the law. And we have also no one other than the Nancy Eke Agu. Put your hands together for her. Nancy Eke Agu. And we should be having a third one. But unfortunately, we have a piece of information here. So Fumi Akaka would have been on the stage with them as well, but it was stopped due to some family reasons. Unfortunately, we wish them well. So she's stepping down on this position. So fortunately for those here, the heat is being reduced here to just 2 persons, Nancy and Omolola. Right, they're getting set. And I think it's about that time we call up the next question, because we want to get these parcels, these gifts, these souvenirs out of this table before the end of the day. So we have a question. That question is, what is the first initial name of ANNS when it all started? I'll repeat the question again. What is the first initial name of ANNS when it all started? Get your answers in. Do we have anyone in the house? Anyone in the house? No expo allowed here. Anyone in the house? We have the first hand there. Yep. The first name. Before we had the ANNS, what was the first name, Michelle? He's asking the question I asked, yes. So that's not it. All right, so he's just giving us the name we currently have. Do you have another person here, brother? There you go. Okay, I'll come to you. That's what we have currently, bro. That's what we currently have. Want to know the initial name? That should be the answer? Fortunately not, but that was close again. Awele, you have an answer for us today.
Association of Nigerian Students in Nova Scotia.
How did you get that? Tell us right away. He got it. Put your hands together for him. Awele. And you have your gift card and the souvenir there. That's beautiful. Wow. Yes, what the announcement? Okay, you can say it.
I'm sorry, please, if you are the owner of, well, this is your plate number, I-Form 8. Please, can you go move your truck? You're blocking someone that needs to drive out. Thank you.
All right, so that being said, we're getting into business today. Let's rock and roll. All right, so we have the first part of that segment or section. It's going to be introduction, self-introduction by the candidates. And that's going to be about 3 minutes, just so you know, to introduce yourselves and tell us about yourself, because we like to know you. So before we get started again, we're going to do the ballot system. And so whatever number you take here will tell when, oh, I'll start here. Who is going first? Yes, we have just 2 here, don't worry. All right, can you just open them up and let's know what number you got there. What number is that?
2.
Powerful, so we don't need to know yours, you're the first. Put your hands together for them, please. Whoa, I can't wait. All right, so Nancy, tell us about yourself.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, prestigious members of the community, and those in-house and those represented here, virtually, I mean. My name is Nancy Ekagu, and I like to describe myself as a go-getter woman. I am a project manager with the Halifax Regional Municipality. I also have a board governance course with Dalhousie University. Presently, I sit on a few boards, the Halifax Convention Center as a director, as well as an events peace group. Oh, that's quite loud. Thank you. Yeah, apologies for that. I also am a member of the International Council of Directors of Canada. But, besides my professional achievements, I voluntarily lead the Uncommon Women of Nova Scotia here in Canada, the women arm of, our wives and mothers represented here. And basically what I do is ensure that there's visibility with value, one-on-one impact, ensuring that we come together as women of faith, women of excellence, women who can defy the odds, women who can go against the grain and then do what we need to do to ensure our footprints in the sand of time here in Nova Scotia. I'm also a mother of 3 sons. I'm married to Godwin, my best friend. And with all this, I ran for this role, rather I was nominated for this role because it appeared that people had seen the value that I bring to the community. I have also worked with the outgoing leadership to
come together to collaborate and have sessions for the community that actually moves us forward in terms of career, the Nigerian week, and all of that. And I seek to bring the same excellence, competence, high energy, and everything that has worked for me over the years, my experience as well as a project manager, to this role, so that together as Nigerians, we can do more, we can be more, we can establish our footprint in this ecosystem. People can get to realize the value that we have as Nigerians, because we're very dexterous people, bringing all this to the fore to say, let's go and let's do this. And that's why I'm represented here. Thank you.
Beautiful. And we have Molola next to tell us about herself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Promise. My name is Lola Agbaje Williams. I live here in Halifax Regional Municipality. I'm married. I have 2 boys, similar to my co-contestants here. I am an internationally trained lawyer, so a lot of people know me and they call me as Law, L-A-W, which is also my initial. Part of my key attributes are, one of them is integrity. I always do something that I do not in any way compromise. People also call me a solution provider, because everybody that I meet, I always love to leave lasting impressions on them and to provide solutions to their problems. And I've been able to do this in the association in different ways. I'm not a stranger to the association. I've been able to help members, even newcomers who come in with strategic advice, information, referrals, whatever they need to be able to establish themselves when they come into Nova Scotia. And I do this voluntarily, even without the opportunity for this election. I do want to thank everybody who nominated me for this position, in believing in my capabilities, my ability to serve, my ability to ensure accountability and deliver on responsibility, and take all the contributions that people have and provide lasting solutions. I've been able to give that strategic advice even to past administrations, to the previous administration, to the current administration, send information, suggestions, even without any official position. Even apart from that, I've also worked with the by-election and by-law committees, worked voluntarily in those positions, and assisted people without any information, without any position, so to say. And apart from that, in addition to my profession as an internationally trained lawyer, I also sit on different boards within Nova Scotia and Canada. I worked in different leadership positions as vice chair of the law student section of the Canadian Bar Association, and also director of Global Lawyers of Canada. I've also worked in different other organizations and on the board, and being able to give my time to develop people, to ensure effective governance, and to help people to move from where they are to where they need to be. Thank you very much.
Well, that's beautiful. Put your hands together for her. All right, so the next part is going to be questions from us here, and then we'll be receiving questions from people in the audience and building, as well as the online participants. So first question. The office of the Vice President is an important one, requiring a lot of collaborations from various groups, and most especially the executive. So we want to know exactly how these 3 things, which will be coming in bit, it's going to come to play. Number 1 is team player. Can you tell us more what you intend to do if elected as Vice President? How are you going to be a good team player? Because you're not calling the shots. You'll be working with a team of people from the president and other members of that executive. So tell us, Nancy, how are you going to be a good team player? You have 60 seconds to answer that question, please.
Thank you very much, Promise, for that question. I have walked the talk. Like I mentioned earlier, I presently lead voluntarily right now the Uncommon Women of Nova Scotia, where we have put together community events as it relates to our space, our community. And in doing all of this, I know that team play is something that drives change and ensures that people come together. And I have exemplified this in the sense that what I plan to do, bringing on board what I have exemplified basically, is to ensure a listening ear. First of all, because everyone wants to feel a sense of value, that they're bringing something to the table. Everyone wants to see also that, yes, we might not have the same agenda, but yes, I see that you respect my values and my vision. And so that is one of the things I will bring to the table. Also, I am a strong collaborator, someone who believes that together we can do more. When we come together, there's a lot more that we can achieve. So I also intend to bring that forward to say, hi, hi ladies, hi gentlemen, mommies and daddies, as it were, represented in this society. Let's do this. I also have very, very brilliant listening skills, where I listen beyond what you are saying. And here, I listen to what you say, but beyond what you have put together, I hear more than what you're saying. I also will bring that forward so that, just in order to be able to drive this position and ensure that we move forward in that sense. Also, I realize that in leadership, as it were, everyone wants to see a leader or, a vice president who walks the talk, who knows where she's going, who champions champions the cause forward in that sense. And I've proven this with the women. We have put together CSR initiatives in the past 2 years since I voluntarily took leadership of this community, and we have put together projects that drive change and impact us as women. One of the just a few of them, and I remember that the last one we had in 2021, it was a Christmas initiative in Nigeria. We were able to raise the sum of almost £500,000 naira, and we sent it to the widows and the single moms in Nigeria. I've worked these things, and I seek to bring the same, intelligence, the expertise, the competence, the listening ear, the communication skills to this role.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nancy. And over to you, Omolola.
Promise. One of the things I believe a lot about is the fact that there's nothing for us without us. So there is so much collective intelligence, so much resources that we have within the association. And as Vice President, I intend to work with the President and the other members of the executive to ensure that we actually listen to our members. There is actually a platform for people to put forward proposals, put forward suggestions, things that they would like to see. A platform where they can actually mention what are the key areas that they need the association to be able to provide programs that meet their needs. We can't assume that we know it all, but if we have a platform for effective participation by everybody, I believe that we can actually build the association into an inclusive one. One that allows members from whatever background that you find yourself, because we all came here from different places. We might have, have different tribes, we might have different backgrounds, but I know that everybody has something important to say. And if we leverage those resources that we have, if we make the floor open for that participation, whether it be by consultations, strategic information sessions, and even surveys, even on our website, if it is easy for somebody to just put a suggestion, and we as the board listen and look at how can we implement these things, make the floor open for participation, so everybody, no matter where you are, no matter what background you come from, you know that you have a place in the association, you have a say, and that the executives are listening to you. We want you to be involved, and it's just similar to what I've done every day in ensuring participation, inclusion, and diversity. I mean, even at the firm that I work in, I chair currently the Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Reconciliation Committee. I started as a member. We started from just drafting terms of reference. How do we ensure that we are representing the people, that we are listening to the needs of the people in the office? How can we improve the systems in governance? And that has also been represented in other institutions. So I can bring all these collective skills that I have in listening to people, in understanding their needs, in being able to work with other people in teams. So many other, I've worked with different people, even within the association. I will want to work with the members of the executive in ensuring that we are able to meet the needs of the collective members of the association and ensure that the association delivers on its promises. Thank you.
Thank you very much for adhering to that time, to that point. Yes, so a piece of announcement here for those in the building. Please, we've realized or we noticed that a lot of you have turned off your nose masks. Please put them on because we are meant to adhere to the Nova Scotia health restrictions guidelines. That said, so we go to the next question here. Next question would be, how are you able to bring accountability to ANNS? We realize that a lot of people are asking this question, and that's not to say that the current executive are not doing enough to show accountability, but we want to know, how do you intend to bring about accountability? One of the things we would take away from what we're doing today is that we can come to you again to say, you told us you're going to do this. Yeah. So just make sure what you're telling us is exactly what you're going to do. Because I'm going to lead the protest. We'll come to your door. I'm going to say, hey, this is what you promised. Yeah. So please tell us, how do you intend to bring accountability to the fore? And can you please put your mic?
Oh, thank you.
Yes, so
Sorry.
we can hear you. Thank you.
No
All right, Nancy, over to you.
Thank you very much, Promise. Part of the things I will do is to ensure consistent, constant feedback so that at every point in time, the community members and everyone represented here in our Nigerian community, no one is left in the dark as regards what we are doing. Every income and expense, there's a cost breakdown that goes out to the members of the community on all our channels, in the sense that when we have a major project to drive, whatever comes in for that project, whatever is spent, whatever is left, whatever is the balance that is brought forward, everything is clear. There's no, there's no, what's the word, ambiguity as to that. And I've proven this very many times. I mentioned just, in my last question that, together with the women, the uncommon women, that's our mothers and wives represented in this community, we have been able to, over time, more than 4 different activities and engagement, champion the cause of community social engagement or responsibilities in that sense. And for every time we did this, we had to contribute money. I led that engagement to say, let's do this. And of course, the money did not go to my account, as it were, but there was a committee that was set up to actually show that everything we're doing was transparent. And at the end of the projects that we achieved together as women, there was a cost breakdown. Every kobo was accounted for, and it was shared so that everyone could see that there was nothing to hide. And I think that communication is just the best way to go, where you have online, consistent, real-time feedback, so that nobody's asking you, what about this? How do you do this? You said this, you haven't delivered, or we're not even seeing anything. I think clear communication is the best way to walk the talk. And I've proven this, like I mentioned, over very many expressions. When people have a sense of ownership, they own the vision, as it were, and you leading the cause and championing the vision, you are saying, this is where we are, this is what we just did, this is what we're about to do right now, this is how much we have left, and this is what we've spent. I believe that addresses the issue of accountability as it cuts across very many platforms.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's concise. Thank you. And over to you to answer the question.
Okay, thank you very much, Promise. So one thing that I have noted as something that I'll be able to contribute greatly to is the bylaw. So we are, as a society, we've said that we're governed by the Societies Act in Nova Scotia. So the bylaw is very important because that is what guides us. That's what guides our, all the actions and the things that we do. And everyone knows, even in previous meetings, I've made contributions about what is in the bylaw, what does the bylaw say about this, how can we follow the bylaw to ensure execution. And as an executive, we have that responsibility to ensure that we know what is in there and we understand it. We won't come into the meeting and be saying we don't even know what's in there. So one of the things we will do is consult that bylaw, ensure that we are following it. Even before we go ahead to take actions, we come to the meeting, we'll say, this is what the bylaw says, this is what it means, this is how we want to go about it, and definitely we will carry everybody along. I've mentioned the importance of consultation, of communicating with members and giving members the opportunity to, to comment, to contribute, even concerning ongoing plans, and also to suggest new plans that we can then execute. So that would be one thing that I can contribute to the executive in working with them, interpreting, understanding what our responsibilities according to the bylaw, and even concerning what we have promised to do, because whoever is elected president, I will be there to support that president and what they've put forward as the manifesto, because I will believe that what the members have voted, because they understand and they accept that manifesto of the president. So whatever the manifesto is, I'll be able to work with that president and ensure that we deliver on those promises. Everything that we've said in election, when we go to the meetings, this is what we've planned to do in the first 90 days, this is how we're going to achieve it, and we come to members in the meeting and say, this is how we're going to, by the time people see effective governance and see that systems are working, even people who have stayed away from the association will come back, because they will see that we are following due process, we are keeping to our promises, and we are ensuring accountability. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Malola. Yep, just to let our viewers online know that this is live streamed. And please bring your questions in, send them in, and we will throw them to the candidates. So one very final question from our desk here, and that would be, we've heard so much about passport intervention, and it's gone. And please, everyone in the building, put your hands together for the current ESCO for making this work, for making this happen. They've done it. They promised and they delivered. Yeah. All right. So clearly you can see that we don't have much anymore in the bucket to worry about. But so it's going to be an issue of, right. So it's going to be an issue of creativity here. And so that's what's going to be the next question. While the second candidate is getting ready, we want to thank our gold sponsors, Sheyi Ajetumobi and EFT Dishes, for sponsoring this wonderful event. Yes, so the question I will have to go, Omolola, are you okay?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, just wanted to make sure you're safe. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so like I said, so much have been said about passport intervention and so many other things. They've been taken care of. We have nothing there to worry about. But we have a lot to be brought to, to the organization or to the association. And so we want to know, how creative do you think you're going to be? What plans do you have to come up with innovative ideas, things that would wow people here? Again, it comes back to value. How creative are you going to be? Please tell us more what your plans are on this particular point. And it's going to be you, Nancy, first, then Omolola. 60 seconds, please.
Thank you, Promise. First of all, I would ensure that people feel value, and these are the things I will do. I know that most of us have been here for a bit. While we have new immigrants coming into the system as Nigerians, we have very many of us who right now have careers, maybe probably trying to change careers, but want to do businesses, just a side gigs and something to just supplement their income. Every member of the community or everyone wants a leader that is creative, innovative, strategic, and articulate. Part of the things I will do is to ensure sessions, put structures in place to support these business owners who are probably just beginning or trying to just find some sort of a balance to how they can consolidate their jobs and then their businesses. Part of what I will bring to the table is to ensure systems and structures in place that will help businesses, budding businesses, new businesses to move forward, to ensure hand-holding and support what they must know, to ensure that they know how to file their taxes when it's time for them to do that.
Thank you very much, Nancy. You're out of time. Thank you for your thoughts. Yes, so Omolola, what unique programs are you going to push for?
Okay, thank you very much. I'll try to say this all in 60 seconds. So first and foremost, I have spoken about the kind of help I've been able to provide to internationally trained lawyers who are new in the community. We've been able to provide that support and information, referrals, everything that they need to be able to settle when they come in. And I have suggested in the past to executive being able to put that kind of program in place whereby we have mentors for specific career areas. So there are so many professionals. Some of us come in as students, but we come in as permanent residents. We've been able to break barriers within Nova Scotia. So if we can provide, set up a mentorship drive whereby they are identified mentors for each of those career areas that we find to be key, then we can publish them. Everybody knows these are our mentors. And when people come in, wherever, if you're a HR professional, if you're a lawyer, if you are an IT professional, you have somebody that can tell you what to do, because that information is key when you arrive. You don't want to make the same mistakes that people have already made. So that is one thing. And secondly...
Thank you very much, Omolola.
Right,
thank you. Put your hands together for them. It's not easy coming up there and saying all these things. I really, I'm excited to see both of you doing this greatly. So, the floor is now open to those who want to ask questions in the house. Let's see, it looks like we have more people this time. All right, so you tell us your name and then your question. Please make it as concise as possible. Thank you.
My name is Rolando Rock. My question is this is not largely, no, it is completely a thankless job, no remuneration, nothing. But in addition, it is actually a role where stones are going to be thrown at you. I can tell you, the current ESCO can confirm this. How are you going to manage that? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I will just...
Yes, so you have 30 seconds to respond to that question.
Not a problem.
Yes.
There's a very high anticipation and expectation of what leadership is. And basically what I will be doing is taking nothing personal, because I know that everyone wants a community where we all move forward. It can be expressed in very many different dimensions or thought patterns. But I know that behind or the underlying objective of those stones are that we are moving forward. First of all, for me, is to take nothing as personal. Secondly, is to listen to the people to know what exactly their pain points are, which is what I've been doing on my campaign trail. When I understand you, then I know where you're coming from, and then I know how best to handle or to see your point and where you're coming from. So for me, what I will do, nothing is personal. I've been in leadership for a while. I'm still in leadership right now. I felt these things, and I'm still doing it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Out of time on that one. Next question, please.
So wasn't that a question for
both
of us?
Sorry, that's my bad. So sorry about that. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think, I also think that it's very important to listen. When people give criticism, most of the time it's constructive criticism. There's a reason by which they're giving that, making that statement. So my point is to listen. What are those areas that we need improvement? What are the changes that people need? What is really hurting them, and how can we help? And that is something that I believe strongly in, and I have been able to even meet with members, even with past executives, what are the areas that we need changes in, and offer my time, advice to members, past executives, and that's what I will just continue doing as vice president, supporting the other executives and president, listening to members, addressing their concerns, and making sure that we deliver on our promises.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Second question, real quick, please.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Itive. My first question, I have two questions quickly. So in your first 60 days, what are you going to accomplish? And the second question is, list 2 strategic partnerships that you have to create before your tenure is over, and why?
Okay, thank you for that.
Yes, actually, I'm so sorry. You can actually go ahead and say it, but if you want to jump in, right, you just feel free to do so. But Nancy, you can respond. I think you started already.
Thank you very much for that question. What I will do as the very first step, we are approaching the tax filing season. And I know that a lot of people, are already building businesses alongside their careers, their career paths and their 9-to-5 jobs. And I know that because it's a new terrain for very many of us, there will be a lot of hand-holding with filing taxes for those kind of businesses. So in my first 60 days, because we are going into that tax filing era, there will be a lot of, support, showing people how to file their taxes in their businesses. And then from asking questions, I understand that ANNS as a body or an organization right now have the approval to be able to file taxes on behalf of people. And I intend to leverage on that so that our community members have what they need to know in order to file their taxes appropriately. Secondly, I would work on a membership card, an ID card that will be exchanged for value. What I plan to do is to partner, in answering the second question, is to partner with respectable organizations here. I know that a few members of our community need experiences, voluntary experiences, and so it will be tit for tat. Exchange those experiences for loyalties, incentives, and discounts, so that when we walk into some organizations, some stores, some organizations, and either for buying goods or services,
thank you very
we can
much,
have some
Nancy.
remuneration.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please, Amola.
Thank you very much. So one of the first things I hope to achieve with the other executives is being able to send out a survey to all the members. We have so many other issues that have been raised by the side during this election. So let us collect that data. What are the issues that we need to address? We don't assume that we know it all, but that would be a way for us to collect information, have people to identify what strengths they have, what things that they would like to deliver or contribute to the association. I mentioned the fact that we also want to be able to raise career mentors. That would be a way to also collect that information. So let us build the data that we need. Also working with the committees that exist in the association, we'll be able to ensure ensure that when we take that data of the problems and issues, we can ensure that we lead the process of an effective bylaw review. And this is not just to address one issue or the other, but to be able to look at the whole bylaws and ensure that it is in line with best practices, and all the areas of concern that people have raised that have led up to this election. We'll be able to do a total constitutional review and make sure that the bylaws that guide our association actually reflect all the concerns and address them, and ensure that even through that process, we'll be able to build some other issue. Another suggestion that I wanted to also bring up is the board, being able to expand the powers of the board and include a dispute resolution function, which we can also do through the process of the bylaw.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have the opportunity to finish those thoughts in the next questions that we have.
Thank you.
So, you can go first, Lola, and these are questions coming in online. So, this person is asking, considering your office being an ad hoc to the office of the president, how do you fill the space in situations where the president failed to carry out his or her duty? In this case, the brothers are men. So, how do you intend to step in a situation where the president failed in his responsibility?
Thank you very much.
25 seconds, please.
Okay. So even according to our bylaws, one of the key responsibilities of a vice president is, being able to represent the president when the president is absent. So when the president is not able to meet some of the things that we have signed up to do, the vice president has the responsibility to ensure that we are accountable to delivering those things that we have promised. So where the president cannot go, I intend to provide that support and be the voice of the association, of the executives in those places, and ensure that no matter what happens, each member of the executive is representing the executive to ensure that we deliver on our
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. So the next person will be you, Nancy, please.
Thank you, Promise. Well, in my capacity as vice president, I don't see that happening. And this is my reason. I believe that the president's agenda is my agenda. And my job is to fine-tune the president's agenda and to ensure that there's a smooth process of what he wants to deliver, coming in as a support, a major, center forward, as it were, in, football terms, and to ensure that he delivers on his set mandate. And so my presidents represented here, whoever it is that the community decides to choose to run for, to stand in that office, you have my support. I will drive your agenda forward. I will smoothen those edges, and I will ensure that you deliver on your mandate. I will also bring the balance that comes from the feminine side, because like we see, the society actually favors women. And so my job is to ensure that your job is fine-tuned, that I incubate and I deliver on your set promises. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You ended with promises there. You pay for it. All right. One more question, but please feel free. If you think your opponent is not saying the right thing, you can countercheck and tell us. You do the opposite. Feel free to tell us that. Anyway, so one more question, and it's going to be the final one for you both. Yes, sorry, we will get your questions and then we would address them. But for now, we are out of time for this section, or segment rather. Thank you for your understanding. We're going to get them, all of them anyways. All right, so it's going to be, how will the office of the vice president ensure active inclusion and participation of Nigerian students, especially those who are not in the HROM? And I can repeat the question, how will the office of the vice president ensure active inclusion and participation of Nigerian students, especially those in HROM and outside? Yes.
Thank you very much, Promise. A part of what my manifesto is, plans to achieve, as it were, or part of my administration agenda is to ensure that we reach out to all members of the Nigerian community in Cape Breton, Antigonish, and wherever, Sydney, and wherever they are. And the idea is to come together, to bring together, to collaborate with these people who might be feeling left out, or who might not actually have felt the value that ANNS brings to the society and the community. To say that we are here for you, we'll feel your points, we feel your pain as well. You might be in school at this time, but the future is bright for you. And so in doing that, what I plan to do is to ensure that there's a feedback, a survey, a communication that reaches out to them to sell the vision of ANNS to them so that they can come on board. Because we together, we can do more. We have so much and such a lot to give on this floor. So the first thing I will do is to extend that olive branch to them to say, let's come on board, let's build together. And when they see the value that we bring, everyone will jump on board.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Nancy. And Amalola, please.
Thank you very much. So one of the key things I also have in my plans here is to ensure that we have student representatives. And this is a part of governance that exists in other associations that even work here in Nova Scotia and in Canada. And those student representatives will exist in all the universities, Cape Breton University, Mount St. Vincent University, St. Mary's University, Dalhousie University, wherever they are. So they will be able to represent the association. They will tell us what the needs of the students are. They will be able to speak about the association to the students, ensure that their involvement. We will expand some of the programs, even working with the executives. I'm sure they're also passionate about this, all the presidents who have, candidates who have spoken, to ensure that we have that student representation, we involve them in our programs, and we also deliver value to them.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much. And with this last question, we come to the end of this section. I want to thank you both, Nancy and Omolola, for coming up here and telling us what you have, plans you have for our community. Please put your hands together for them as they come down the stage. Thank you. Right. For those of us in the building and those online, we have another question. Time for another goodies. And so we have a question here which says, who was the General Secretary to Mrs. Faith Moneke administration? I'll ask the question again. Please don't call her on phone, please. All right? So who was the General Secretary to Mrs. Faith Moneke's administration? If you have that answer, please get them in online in the building, and we will be more than pleased to give you your gift here. Over to you, Onye.
Whilst we wait on the answers, thank you very much, Promise, and thank you for the vice presidential candidates. Whilst we wait on in-person and online answers, this section would cover the debate and discussion by our presidential candidates. And when I call them, they would please go on the stage. I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Adegoke Fadere. Please clap for them. Followed by Mr. Jonathan Okwo, and then Mr. Kazim Jinadu. Okay, I think we have an answer from online. For the question, where is my co-moderator? Promise. We have someone here who said the General Secretary to Mrs. Faith Moneke's administration is AGK Okonkwo. Said AGK Okonkwo. But we have AGK. Did they give us the wrong answer?
If it is not Panadol, it cannot be the same thing as Panadol.
Okay, we have an answer actually. Someone has said online, they type AGK Bernard, and that's the correct answer.
Oh, that's beautiful. AGK Bernard. Wow, and who's this person?
So Fumi Kayode, who is watching virtually, you have a gift for you here. We would ensure that the gift gets to you. Thank you very much. Please clap for Fumi Kayode. Okay, our presidential candidates, you will each have 60 seconds to introduce yourselves to us, and after which we will proceed to the open debate. The open debate, you will each have 3 minutes to answer the questions, and I would implore you to go straight to the point. In the same vein as we've used for all the other candidates, we would use the open ballot system to identify who would answer first. However, even if you pick number 1, when we go through to the open debate, we would kind of switch who would answer the questions, just to be fair with the process.
And while we get the ballots all ready, we want to thank our sponsors, Sheyi Ajetumobi, EFTY Dishes, we have Flanger Foods, we have William Bar Production, we have Merchant Fashion House, Topsy, Crunchy Snacks, and Simply Go Natural. These are all Nigerian, and we're proud of them. We're super proud of them. Yep, so that's going to be the ballot system to make sure we get first to start, and so on.
You picked everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mic sounds. Do I sound good? Thank you.
So who has number 1?
I do.
You do? Okay.
2.
But you have number 2. Okay. So we will start from Mr. Goke to introduce yourself, and then you go next, and you go next. Go ahead.
Good evening. I'm really excited being here, a proud Nigerian, and also excited that my church is hosting the ANNS debate. It was really good. It feels to be home. My name is Adegoke Fadore. I'm primarily a bridge builder. Basically simply means I connect people to where they are, to what their best possibilities are. I help businesses in being able to fine-tune. By profession, I'm a trained philosopher. I'm a business owner. I'm many things to many people. As a father, I'm an amazing father to 2 energetic children. I have a lovely wife as a husband. I've been a speaker on many platforms in Canada. I've spoken at ANNS Entrepreneur Cafe. I've also been a guest to speak at the Career Talk of Association of Nigerians here in Nova Scotia. I'm also an author, released a book called Owning Your Home here in Canada as a newcomer. As a communication expert, I help businesses to fine-tune their messages. I'm also an entrepreneur. I started a business in Nigeria that became an 8-digit figure and is still flourishing even in the city of Lagos.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Good day, fellow moderator, our producer, all protocol duly observed. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kazim Jinadu. I'm a Nigerian and I was born in Lagos, grew up in Lagos. My journey so far started in South Korea. That would be in 2004 when I moved down to Korea. I started with the Nigerian community in South Korea chapter. And when I was there, I took, no? Okay. While I was in Korea, I was part member of the community. I was one of the members. I was the assistant welfare officer while I was in Korea. And as a part of Nigeria.
I'm so sorry, Kazim, you're out of time. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Thank you. My name is Jonathan Okwor, community servant, the proud owner and founder of Owning Knowledge, Wellness and Opportunities. I have a business here in Nova Scotia, Truly African Arts, which represents the culture and wellness and richness that comes from Africa. I've also helped in fostering different kinds of services, not just for the Black Africans or Blacks here, but also for the Nigerian community. I've represented Nigerians here in Nova Scotia as one of the members, or a former member of the Nigerian community, represented at the Halifax Chambers of Commerce. Proud international student, but when I came here, I've also helped in championing the ambassadorship and representing Nigerian culture, richness, our habits, and everything that would make people understand that, yes, that this is Nigeria truly acting here in Nova Scotia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to go through the ground rules again for the presidential candidates. I know you have a lot to tell us this evening, but to ensure that we stick to time, I just want to encourage you to please adhere to the time. And in as much as I wouldn't love to have to stop you, but I will have to stop you once my timer tells me you need to be stopped. Okay, so we have surveyed a number of Nigerians and they have given us several open debate questions for you. This section we have 3 open debate questions. The first section will be on building bridges, and that kind of aligns to your mantra.
Connecting people.
The second section will be on value creation, and the third section will be on growth and innovation. Now, we would run through the questions we have for those 3 sections. We would also open the floor for in-person participants to ask their questions. We have received 2 virtual questions already for the presidential candidates.
That's great.
Okay, so let's kickstart. Who's number 1 again, Mr. Koke?
I'm number 1.
Okay.
Number 1.
So, section 1, building bridges, and this is centered on individuals. What plans do you have to unite Nigerians across the province, as it's become obvious that the association of Nigerians in Nova Scotia is more of an association of Nigerians in Halifax Regional Municipality? What are your plans to unite Nigerians across the province?
Quickly, thank you for that question. It's part of the thing I was discussing in the last interview, how we're supposed to be an association of Nigerians in Nova Scotia and reduced. One of the greatest challenge that I think we need to answer is what I call a compelling vision. And this is important because everybody rallies around a particular vision and is able to contribute their quota if they understand the vision. So what we are doing in our campaign is to be able to help deepen the association. How do we do that? We have identified the 8 major categories of the community, and we use the word called bowling, CPH, which simply means the business owner. Let me just quickly read out. It talks about our business owner, talks about international students, talks about our women, talks about, there are 8 different categories. It talks about newly landed, it talks about government. When we talk about government, we're referring to all stratas of government. We're talking about children, we're talking about professionals, both in public and private places. So what we intend to do is, with the vision that we have in place, every person is going to see themselves as part and parcel of that vision. So for example, amongst the students, we're going to have what we call the first respondents. What the first respondents simply means is that we're going to have representatives on all the various campuses that exist in Nova Scotia, because those people now become our voice, our hands, because we have left them this far all to themselves. We're also going to have what we call for the children, there are a couple of programs we have aligned. So one of that is, we're going to have, for the first time, we're going to have our ANNS summer camp. We're also going to have what we call the ANNS games for children. It's going to be a sporting activity. It's going to happen in the summer. We're also going to have the ANNS debate competition, and those are going to be for our children. And that's important for us to understand. For our business owners, the first 100 days, we're going to have what we call a meet and greet session, because we understand, like this event, for example, is being sponsored by business owners. So we need to ensure that they are part and parcel of this object. So we're going to have check-ins with our business owners. We're having check-in with our students. We're going to have check-in with our international students. We're going to have check-in with the government. So one of the things that we're hoping to do is, first of all, to get people to buy into this philosophy, so that each and everybody will be able to see the role, see themselves in that vision, and will be able to carry it out. So for example, one of the simple concept I keep asking is, we have people who are landing into Canada now, they're having difficulties with rentals. One of the things that the Secretariat is going to be able to do, everybody who lives in an apartment, who knows that they're going to leave their apartment shortly, will be able to inform the Secretariat months before. Because before you land in Canada, we're going to have what we call information session, where you have check-in. So when we have an opportunity to sit down with you, to be able to look at your time you're coming, to be able to brief you about what Nova Scotia is about, to be able to give you the necessary tools and skills. I can't see the time, so I'm just going on. To give you necessary skills.
14 seconds left.
Okay, to give you the necessary skills, because I don't want to be cut short. To give you necessary skills, so that's so important. So that's one of the things that we're doing within our campaign. We have a compelling vision, a campaign that caters for all the 8 major criteria that exist within our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kazim.
My fellow Nigerians, one of the key of bringing Nigerians together in Nigeria, in every association that we are, we know how to connect with people, how to make friends, and how we can achieve our goals in the society. One of the ways that I have set up is an event that is going to connect people, like we have sport games, we have hockey games, and we have volleyball games. And we also play soccer, as we all know as the Nigerians. I played soccer growing up. So in bringing all Nigerians together, we know everybody loves playing soccer. And all these events are the events that unite us together as the Nigerians. And while we in every sport, we know we always cheers and we always balance ourselves in a comfortable way that we're connected. In that aspect of way, I believe we can go far away in connecting ourselves in every event that we have. And we are going to set up a platform that is going to help our little ones out there in bringing them up in a way that they are going to be looking towards us in the next future. Because when we have them set up in a way that their future is brightened up, we know where the target is. We know we can set up a limit target for them. We are setting an upgrade target for them in the future. We have bringing some events into the community that we know these are some of the events that our kids love. You know, when we set out there, we know what we can bring to the table. And by bringing this to the table, it's an eventful that the kids love. And bring all the adults and the parents together to unite and have fun in the way that we all, as the Nigerians, pleases. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. Hello. It is? Oh. So I'm just keep it on the table. Yes. Just put it on the table here. Thank you very much. So one of the vision of the association is to, as stated in the already existing bylaw, is for the preservation and promotion of the socio-economic, cultural, and civic interest of all Nigerians by birth, marriage, or descent, and also those living within Nova Scotia. Now, I already laid out my 5-point agenda of my manifesto of what's going to be happening within the next 2 years. The first one is to address the existing challenges with the association, to promote skills training, acquisition, and volunteering opportunities for both students and people who are already here who are looking for more Canadian experience. We are stating to provide settlement and integration services, create general and mental health awareness, as well as improve Black business initiatives. Now we have a friend of ours, Peter Hassan, who is in Cape Breton University. Now this young man has done so much for the Nigerian community, he has represented us so much well. At some point this year, he ran as the president for the student union. That kind of person is someone that we can put our future to because of what he has already setting the pace. He has created the pace as a student to run for an entire country. Now, most of us might not know who that person is, but he has duly represented us, even coming to the point of representing an entire university, a very well-known university here in Canada. So why would I be creating value for that person? Because that's what comes to my mind, that this is someone that nobody knows, but what kind of value will I want to create for that kind of person as it concerns my tenure? Now, I realize that we have a whole lot of students here in Nova Scotia who don't even understand. We have 18 counties here in Nova Scotia that are not represented. We're only represented at 2 or 3 counties. Halifax, Windsor, a little bit in Truro. What about places like Sydney? Places like Antigonish? Places that people don't even know, Guysborough. Probably some of us don't even know about those places. But these are places that we are not represented. These are places that we are not aware of. Nigerians are living there. What this administration is set to do is to connect all those Nigerians together, because we are a whole wealth of people who have a whole lot of resources. We have the opportunities, we have the information. We have worked with several government organizations. I worked personally with the Nova Scotia government internal services that provides information as it concerns joint stocks, residency, tenancy. These are information that we can connect our people to at different levels of the society. So this organization or this association isn't just meant for an elite few or people who are close in proximity, but for everyone in Nova Scotia. And what this administration is set to do is to identify all our people in these places that are underrepresented, identify people who will run for us, identify the chapters that can be created, identify the need that these people need. Information and resources. We have people who are mentors, who are great mentors. And what I've done so far before even I was nominated was to create that kind of opportunity. And I see this opportunity as a platform to amplify that reach. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we have quite a number of questions coming in for the presidential candidates, and we will take it after you've gone through the general questions. So the second section we would go to would be what value creation, what value do members stand to get from ANNS? And I would encourage the candidates to address the questions, just hit it straight to the point so that your candidates, the people out there, that your voters would know what you want to do and be able to vote for you as well. So what value do members stand to get from ANNS? This time around, we will start with you, Jonathan.
Perfect. Two of the agendas we have is to promote skills, training, acquisition, and volunteering opportunities, as well as provide settlement and integration services, as well as create general and mental health awareness. All these are under the realm of reality. These are things that can already be done right now, but needs to be more prevalent within our society. We have so many things that are going on within our lives, especially coming out from a pandemic, that needs to be addressed, because we're not just trying to build anything, we're trying to make sure that the foundation that we already have is strengthened for us to build upon it. We're not trying to create the team that is being formed isn't trying to create or radically change whatever is on ground, but to build upon it, to run with it, and make sure that even in the future, for posterity's sake, that people who come after it can look back to what we're doing today and build upon that. That's why everything we've written down to address the challenges we have now, which is the disparity that's happening within Nova Scotia, between our members in Nova Scotia, and then to build upon that and identified all our people across all boards, and then know what they need, what they want, or the kind of services or resources that they have that can be shared amongst each and every one of us here in Nova Scotia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The next person would be Mr. Goke.
We're running on 3 fundamentals, and this is important for us as Nigerians. We're running in a society where, whether we like it or not, we blacks are in the minority. We have children that were raised, and many of us came into this country, or many of us have given birth to children in this country. And most of those children are going to grow up wondering if they do not see successful black people and begin to question their identity as blacks, their identity as Nigerians. So these 3 fundamentals are key for us. That's 1, power, where we believe in political power, intellectual power, and we believe in economic power. So our entire mindset is going to be driven on these 3 things. So what does that mean? For a business owner, it means that we're going to sit with you, to collaborate with you where you are, to figure out how can we make your business become 7-digit figures. Because we understand that if you become successful as business, in your business, you will fund events like this. What does it mean to an international student? We're going to create a platform where students, regardless of your locality, that you are able to mingle because you are Nigerians. Because we are going to have check-ins with our students. So that way, students in Cape Breton can have relationships with students here in Halifax or students in Sydney. That also will help a lot of our single students to be able to find meaningful relationships, whether it's in terms of business, whether it's in terms of life career, or in terms of relationships. We will create that platform. It's easy to do. When it comes to our newly landed, for those who have landed in Halifax already or any part of Nova Scotia, in the last 9 months, we're going to have a check-in with you in the first 100 days. We're going to figure out where exactly are you in the scheme of things. What exactly are the struggles that you are experiencing? And also for everyone who is going to be landing in the city of Halifax, we will ensure that we have information session before you land. That way, that before you are landing, you will have assistance right from the day that you step out of the airport. I want you to understand that regarding our children.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Goke. Time's up now. I'm sorry to cut you short. Go ahead, Mr. Kazim.
My key value that I'm going to set up, it's going to be based on 3 factors. That's a value that's actually in one of our bylaws. 3 ways. Teamwork. In teamwork, we can achieve our goals, our aim and objective. And transparency. In transparency, we know without transparency, we cannot move on, we can support anybody without knowing what agenda who is leading us has. And accountability, everybody knows what they can and cannot do. I am not coming here to tell you I'm going to boast that I'm going to buy you TV tomorrow for you to vote for me so I can be the president. I'm not coming here today, to tell you I'm going to support you whatever you do with your family or impose myself in you so you can vote for me to be the president. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you right now, that I'm bringing the accountability that is going to support you and your family. In that way, you know, I am telling you I want you to vote for me. But the accountability that I'm going to bring to you today will be the support that everybody needed in the society that's going to support everybody and move them ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I have to put a disclaimer out to those in person and those virtual. Our anticipation was to have ended by 6, but we have lots of questions coming in, and I'm sure the people in person as well have questions. So we would extend the time a little bit if everyone does not mind. Thank you very much. The next question we would take, before we take the next question, let us ask one more question to win a gift, while our presidential candidates just take a deep breath in and breathe out. Okay, so the question to get another gift and souvenir: name 3 past presidents of ANNS aside from Mr. Shobamu Babatunde. Does anyone in person know? 3 other past presidents of ANNS. Does anyone want to give it a go?
Somebody's out there.
Kunle, Faith Moneke, and George Mbamala.
Please clap for him. He should be here standing for the presidential candidate role. He got all the names correct. Thank you very much. Okay. We'll proceed to the next question. Our candidates, this section will be focused on growth and innovation. So from the survey that was carried out, Nigerians are worried that they wouldn't want the next presidential candidates to ride on the feathers of what a few of the past presidents have done. So they want to know, if any of you become elected as the president, what would be the different initiative you would bring on board aside from what is currently existing? And be careful what you promise us, because like Promise said, we would lead the protest to come to you.
Absolutely, we'll come for them.
So we will start with you, Kazim.
One of the agenda that we are going to set as a team is we are going to deliberate on the House and consult them. What areas and what are the needs that people needed? And by doing this, we engage them in what we have set up as a community leader to move the community in a greater height. And go back to the House and deliberate on this discussion. And having said that, we'll have to consult our leaders as well and come back to the community and tell them this is what the agenda we have set up for you, and this is what we have set up as a plan. And this is how we are going to move you as a community forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jonathan.
So now the first thing I'm going to be doing within the next 100 days is to identify the Nigerian community within the 18 counties in Nova Scotia. And then that is going to lead to allowing us to create those 18 chapters of Nigerian Association. It's probably going to take over a couple of hours of driving around to go there, but I remember that as a team we went over to help support one of our members all the way in Sydney just for a particular event. But so it's no worries going over to other places to identify our people, going over to places like Truro to making sure that yes, that this association is duly represented as a chapter, which reports later on. This is a matter of delegation, but it can be done. It's within the realm of reality. And another thing is to create a committee for EDI, Equality, Diversity and Inclusion within the association, which will help represent all our black brothers here in Nova Scotia within their job areas and allowing them to identify that yes, that I am duly represented within any position or any industry you find yourself. I myself, I'm part of the board in my own company as an ADI member, which I helped represent because, believe it or not, I'm the only black person within my company right now. So I found that it's very, very important that we are included within every sphere of influence, whether politically, whether in schools, whether in businesses. All the initiatives are supposed to duly represent all, because this is something that we can do, this is something we have done, this is something that can be done. But once that initiative is being set in place, we have a committee that leads this. We can focus and then get necessary organizations, sister members, sister organizations, people like Adam who will help us and to identify where this can be duly done within Nova Scotia, within different spheres of industries here in Nova Scotia. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One of the changes we're bringing about is critical thinking. So, for example, the bylaw already provides so much opportunity for us as an association that we have not yet utilized. For example, it offers us the opportunity to create what we call family memberships, which we haven't utilized yet, which would mean that husband don't have to pay 50 like we do and wife have to pay 50, but it can be family membership. It's also important for us because we need to create bridges with the host community, with the community that we reside in. It also offers us an opportunity to create what we call honorary members. They are companies, they are individuals who love and support Nigerians. For example, the church that we're in today. It's amazing that we can get some individuals within the community, identify them, and make them honorary members of ANNS, which would give us better and greater mileage because now we have commissioned them to also become our voice within the community. There's also something called the Operations Review Committee. One of the things, the work the Operations Review Committee does and is empowered to do, which we will form immediately we get into the office if elected, is that the Operations Review Committee is supposed to keep the executives on their toes. So what it does is that each member of the executive already has an agenda that's been set aside to do. So they sit with you when you do not meet up with your mandate, and they begin to figure out with you what your challenges are, what your excuses are, and if after a while you're unable to, they report back to the house. So we do not have executives that are incapable of doing things and just holding titles. So we will empower the Operation Review Committee. For our children, like I said earlier, we are going to ensure that we have what we call the ANNS, the first ANNS sports game during the summer. We're also going to ensure that we not only have the sports game, we'll have also the children's debate competition. Not only are we going to have the debate competition, we're going to have a summer camp for the children, for the newly landed.
Thank you very much. Time is up. So sorry to do that to you guys again. Thank you very much, candidates. Now we would go to in-person questions. Before I take questions that have been coming in from online, we would take 3 from in-person, 1 from the online participants. Do we have any questions in person? Yes, please, let's start with. No, I'm sorry. Can you please start with the lady here? Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ebon, and I have.
Hi, Ebon.
I have 2 questions for Jonathan. And the first question is, I know you mentioned international students in your campaign. Can you please just talk briefly about the specific things you intend to do to include international students, especially Nigerian students? And then, despite all, what is going to be the unique thing to your administration? Thank you.
Okay, the first one is international students.
International students.
Second one is the unique
things that you have for international students, and the second thing is what's going to be unique to your administration.
Okay, thank you very much.
So sorry, Jonathan, you have 30 seconds for each of those questions. Please go ahead.
So the first thing we're going to do for international students is, first of all, to identify them within the 18 counties here in Nova Scotia, and then create those chapters in schools, create those chapters in various universities. We already have a very strong Nigerian represented in Cape Breton University, Peter Hassan. He ran for the president of the student union there. So that's a voice we can count on, someone who can represent us duly within that entire institution. We're also going to be identifying students like that, people, international students like that can duly represent us, and then create chapters or mini by association that can function under our own association. They're in different various universities here in Nova Scotia, and they are going to report back. We're going to be empowering them with different programs, mentoring programs, internships, and things like that. So for your second question, what I'm going to be doing is, because I know that what has caused us a whole lot of problem as it concerns our association is the problem with finances. And then what I'm going to be doing is to address that very, very strongly, because I know that Association of Nigerians in Nova Scotia is not a profit-gaining organization. It's a non-profit. We're not supposed to make money. We're supposed to channel resources to people. I'm going to make that effective, and we're also going to be figuring out ways we can restructure our organization to both earn money that can be used. Thank you very much.
Could I help Ebon answer one of those things? Ebon, one of the things you could be sure of is that we're going to start what we call the bursary system again. And the bursary system is going to be some sort of competition amongst the students because we want to put money in their hands. Because the association can do that. Listen, in Halifax or in Nova Scotia, one of the key things is information and access. And I can guarantee you that we have ways, we have some relationships to be able to provide that. And you will get that. During the Kunle administration, they were able to do 500. We're going to double that. And I can tell you that I can double it because when the ANNS was planning their 2020-19 week, and they brought the budget of what they were looking for from and I told them, go and double this amount. They brought a money that was doubled, and we still gave them double of that money.
Thank you very much,
So you can be sure about that.
Thank you very much. Yes, go ahead, please.
My name is Jane.
Hi, Jane.
My first question is to Kasim. I don't know if I pronounced your name properly.
Kasim Jinadu.
Okay, I'd like you to tell us one thing that you intend to achieve if elected the president, like one goal you intend to achieve. My second question is to Jonathan. You said you were going to work on finances, but I didn't hear you say how. I'd like to know how you intend to do that.
I think okay.
Yes, for you, when you speak, it's more like you're focused on Halifax, right? I'd like to know your plans for other places that are not in Halifax.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you.
So we will start with Kazim, and you have 30 seconds. I will cut you short once it's 30 seconds. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam, for the question. Actually, as a team leader, you have transparency. One of the things that you want to achieve being a president is trying to bring your team together to look for a goal that you think you can achieve as a team. As a team, you can achieve a lot of things. Okay, so I'm a Kingsman Club of Tactful. I'm a membership. I'm a past president. So as a team in the community, we achieve a lot. In the community, as of last year, December, we set up a target in the community. We sold Christmas tree in the community. A set up plan project of 3,000. And after we sold all those three, we came up with the profit of 2,000. And these 2,000 are also meant for the community.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kazim.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan, go ahead, please.
I'd like to announce that the Nigerian Association for Nova Scotia is not for some Nigerians, it's for all Nigerians living within Nova Scotia. So as it concerns trying to, about our finances, I know that this is something that has caused us so much pain, even though we are aware that people can afford this, but this is something that has caused us so much pain and has caused so much division within the association. Now the bylaw states that the Executive Council has the power to change that fee. And that's something I'm going to look into reviewing, making sure that it's available and then the cost of what you're doing. Because, like I said, we're not supposed to be making money. We're supposed to be connecting people to resources. So whatever we have on ground, we're going to be channeling to those resources that we need to get where we need to be. We're not going to be charging, we're not, I won't say that we're not going to be charging anyone anything. But the thing is that we're going to be reviewing it and making sure it's accessible to everyone. So everyone can pay whatever they need to pay. But that's not going to be the priority. I'm not going to be pushing you, go and pay, go and pay, go and pay. No. The goal is to connect you to those resources. Then when you see the value, you can have, because we're supposed to be collecting donations, we're not charging people.
Thank you very much, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
You very much.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can be sure that under my leadership, if elected, it's going to be across all, but I talked about students across all campuses. So I'm not talking about just Halifax alone, but let me also tell you about the various activities regarding those competitions. They're not going to be held in one location. The summer camp is not going to be in one location. They are people's home because we're going to get grants. Do you understand? Because there are some monies on the table that sometimes when I see some of those figures in conversations, I'm shocked how we have not been able to tap into them. We are going to have people hold some of those whatever in their homes, people who are willing and able to across Nova Scotia, and they will be paid for doing so. So you can be guaranteed that under our leadership we're going to. Regarding the reason why we ask people to pay dues, when government sponsors your event, they won't give you 100% of the money, they give you about 75%. So the reason why we are asking our members to pay those dues is because we need to be ownership of our own custodians. Somebody talked about partnering with Adam and other organizations. Listen, one of the things that we must realize, and this is, we must begin to free up.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Please, can I just land with this? Can I just land?
I'm so sorry.
Is it possible?
I have to be fair because I gave them all the same time. Okay, we will take one more question in person. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Tolola. The question for every member. Now, if you observe someone's elected or selected is not performing his duties appropriately, what will be your approach? Are you going to hijack the person's responsibility, or what are you going to do?
Mr. Toll, can I really just jump on that? That's why I talked earlier on.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Goke. Before you proceed with answering the question, yeah, I would like to, I think we've gotten comments from online that they need more decorum from the candidates, and please go straight to the answer, because I will stop you even if you're saying your last sentence. So please go ahead.
So I lost my train of thought a bit. Mr. Tolu, one of the things that the bylaw empowers is what I call the operation review. I talked a bit about it earlier on. One of the things that it does is that it removes you from being able to look like you're having a personal or crisis issue with another executive, because what that means is that there is a committee that reviews the performance of executives. So when the performance is not up to date, they as a committee have the opportunity to relate with that executive, whether it's the president, the vice, or whoever, to be able to figure out what the challenges are, because sometimes the challenge might be personal because we all have other lives other than just the association. But at some point in time, based on their conversation, when that is impossible, they bring it to the house. So that removes individuals from having personality crashes, and that's why it's important. I wish one of the things that we would do is for people to be educated about the bylaw, because there's so much power within the bylaw, there's so much information there that we're not tapping into.
Thank you very much. Let's go ahead, Mr. Kazim.
There's an easy way to eradicate this problem. We have a bylaw that guides us in the community, in the association. We are going to go through the bylaws that lead us and provide the needs for what we have to set up. And we are going to consult the general meeting and have a plan. And we are going to vote on it for the resolution of who is doing the right and who is not doing the right tax as a member of the association. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
So now the first, one of the first grant we got last year was the grant, like we all know, we got the grant from the government, was towards leadership training. So one of the first things we're going to be doing in this administration is to channel that grant into leadership training and training all the new executives into what we need to do, how we need to do it, and how to do crisis management, people management, and other resources like that. So when there's a form of a deflection of character or attitude or whatever, those, just like the bylaw states, there's already a committee set up, or that can be set up to address those situations, and then they'll be duly represented and duly spoken to during one of our meetings. If we need to set up a special meeting to address those issues will be addressed as it concerns whoever's character, whoever's personality defect or stuff like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I will take a few questions from our virtual participants. And this question is from MEMS Hub. The question is, what practical steps will you take to convince members who have lost confidence in the organization to come on board? And we will start with you, Jonathan, 30 seconds.
Now, like I said before, we've driven over 8 hours within a week to reach out to different Nigerian communities within the province, going to places like Truro, going to places like Sydney to convince, and not to convince, to support whatever things they're doing there, to helping our members know that yes, that they have their confidence in us, right? So what we're going to be doing with what the question we say to answer that is to create those relationships once again, and then also to let them understand that yes, that we are here for you. We're going to go in and meet them directly, even if it's one or two people within a different, and one of the different county seats here in Nova Scotia. We're going to meet them and let them know that yes, we came, you saw us, we communicated with you. We have your back, notwithstanding whatever, or regardless whatever situation you find yourself in, we are here for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Mr. Goke.
One of the things about life is about opportunity cost. Everyone who wants to spend a particular amount of money varies on what value am I trading or getting back in the result. So one of the things we intend to do is to be able to itemize these various things. If you pay $50 to vote me today, it might seem a lot because you might ask yourself, I've not gotten anything from this. But imagine if you had a child. Your child will be able to go for a summer camp that you won't have to pay for. Think about what cost implication that could have been for you for the $50. One of the things that we are open to do, I've tried not to talk much about this particular thing I'm about to say yet, is because we're talking presently with a couple of insurance organizations. Because my desire is that as a member, if you're a member of Halifax Chamber of Commerce or any of these universities, there's certain percentage discounts that you get. And
I'm sorry I have to cut you short. Go ahead, Mr. Kazim.
To answer that question would be an easy way to go by either in the short form. We'll have a setup plan for our kids that's going to bring the parents together. Like I said previously, Nigerians are enjoying meeting each and every one of themselves in every event that we set up. We as a Nigerians, we love playing football, which is soccer. So in this agenda, I think when we have something set up for kids and activities that carry on with them, they are not going to get to the event by themselves. The family are going to bring them along with them. So this is how we are going to engage the community, from the kids to the parents.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kazim. The next question will go to you, Mr. Goke, for 30 seconds. How would you work to foster integration more and more with your host community in cultural exchanges?
Thank you for that bit of question. That's one of the key stakeholders, the host. One of the reasons why many people have succeeded without the host, and they begin to attack them eventually, is that we're going to use sometimes our youth to do things like adopting a road project, where they go and do cleanup exercises, so that they see Nigerians being part of wanting to contribute back in terms of visibility to the economy. So those are some of the things that we intend to do to build bridges with our host committee. Some of such is identifying, like I said earlier, some people that are really pro-Nigerians and make them honorary members of the association. That I think is very key. The bylaw already empowers us to do that. So why don't we capitalize on that opportunity? So for me, that is very important. Those are some of the things we intend to do too.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I wish it was a bit more than 30 seconds, but you know, the rules are the rules.
I am so sorry.
I understand. The rules are
time.
the rules. The
Okay.
rules are the rules.
Yeah, we still have about 11 questions from online, and we have those in person who have questions.
It's just that our desire is to be able to give the answers they want satisfactorily, so that they feel like their questions were really answered. So for me, I don't believe in just doing something for doing sake, but meeting a need.
So my advice to you would be, instead of giving us the meat around your answer, summarize your answer, just go straight to the point. I intend on doing this, this, and this. That would help you stick to the time.
I did state two, but I wanted to state more, but that's good. Thank you.
Okay. So, yes, we would take the question from, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I will say that the presidential candidate, I really encourage you. I mean, I like your courage to have actually, declare your intention to run for the office of the Presidential Association of Nigeria. And my first question is about the welfare. So I see that the office of the welfare is currently vacant in the list of, and I've seen all the video of the president and nobody actually say anything about it. And all of you are just saying something about you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And you forgot the fact that the welfare officer is actually the one that I mean, that in anything, in any organization, you have to take, and you're talking about you want to serve the people. How do you serve the people without the Office of the Welfare? And nobody is saying anything about it. And secondly, my second question is, all my question goes to the president, the presidential candidate. Then putting aside your personal agenda to serve the people. I will tell you, one of the problems of this association that is currently going on now is the matter of leadership. The leader, I will tell you, in all purpose, you have to, in one way or the other, put your selfish agenda aside. So how are you going to look at everything that you have as your personal agenda, maybe your business, to put things, how are you going to serve the people without putting your personal agenda into this? Then what thing I would also like to put into that is that there are things you cannot explain to people or have someone at the back of maybe social media anywhere, or for people to tell what are the things that you have done. Number one is credibility, number one is accountability, and number three is transparency. You don't try in any way to explain to people that this is what you are. This is something that you have to show in all your attitude from beginning of your administration to the end. And if you don't do that, I will tell you, this is a position that a lot of people have issue with on the social media, that we've been having a lot of issues. So I just want to know how you're going to do this.
Thank you.
Then my last question, sorry, my last this thing is, how do you create value for yourself and for your ESCO? And I will tell you this, I've been in this office before. Once former president, former PRO. And there's one thing that I will tell you, that most of the ESCOs that have served previously and currently, that when they leave office, what do you see as something that they have served this office? We all see that if you volunteer in any place in this Nova Scotia or in anywhere in this Canada, you get a kind of support for serving as a volunteer. There's no any award, there's no anything that goes to any of those people that have served. Immediately they leave office, everything just died. And nothing to show that these people actually served the Association of Nigeria. So what plan do you have in putting your ESCO and the previous ESCO to show that these people have served the association? Thank you. And I'm sorry for my long question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Sorry,
Abdul.
before you answer the question, for the first question he asked, I think that question should go to the Electoral Committee. For the vacant positions, the Electoral Committee... Not
necessarily. I could educate you a bit on that.
I'm sorry, please. For the Electoral Committee would take care of that. So I would say, I'm so sorry, Abdul, for that question, but the question would go to the Electoral Committee. And then other subsequent questions, because we are running behind time, please go straight to your question. I will restrict it to one question so that we can take other questions. Okay, let's go ahead.
So for really about the welfare, the bylaw already specifies what should be done. And the bylaw simply states that if a by-election should be held, if there's nobody that presents itself, the executive should nominate and for the House to approve. So I don't think there's any issue regarding going forward with that. The bylaw is very clear on that. We just need to educate ourselves regarding the bylaw. So regarding the issue about how do you balance work and all of that, one of the things we must do as an association, this is what we're championing, the association is not going to be run by the executives. The executives are going to empower the members to run the association. So our job is to unleash the people. So immediately we get into office, we have some of these things, which also takes care about the award they are talking about. There's going to be an awards and bursary team that will be formed. Immediately we come in, we're going to form the Nigerian 2022 team. Immediately we come in, the bylaw review committee team, the budget and finance committee, the membership and welfare, the operations and review committee. Those will happen within 100 days of coming in. So I want to assure you that regardless of the fact that we have all other lives, that we are ensuring that the people are going to be owners of the association. Our job is to be strategic. Our job is to receive reports from the teams that we have empowered to, and we've created an enabling environment for, so that we can now decide to help them to be able to fulfill the mandates that we have created them for. So for every executive, whether it's the secretary, whether it's the welfare, they're going to have collaborators, people who work with them as teams, so that they're not working alone. So we do not need to make executive offices for every portfolio, because our people are able and willing to work. And that's what we intend to do during my time.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Jonathan.
So, like I said before, like we already have a grant that has been established for us to train our leaders. So one of the first things we're going to be doing is to making sure that that leadership training comes forth, which enables and empowers the leaders of the association to be able to carry out their duties, their responsibility, their roles effectively to beyond even. And then the next thing is going to be like I said I gave out my manifesto for all to see, all to read, all to scrutinize, all to come back and speak to me about it. This is the transparency, this is the accountability that we all asked for. This is something that I'm championing and making sure that everyone is making sure that everything that I've written down is for all to see, people to question, people to criticize, even if they want to, about what I've written down so far. And this is what we're going to be using to run forward. This is transferable to anyone. Doesn't appeal to me personally. Anyone can run with this manifesto. And then the thing about creating value, like I said, we're going to be first of all identifying all our people across all Nova Scotia, identifying and prioritizing what we need right now, assessing the resources that we need, getting the information that we want, making sure that the necessary organizations are being made aware, getting closer to the government bodies and institutions that can provide those services that we want. And at the end of the day, we are going to be working within and championing all those events to making sure that we get the best out of it. And then
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Throwing money at the thing doesn't fix a thing, We need to have strategy.
I'm going to make this easy and make it easy and quick. About the welfare duties that we have vacant there, I believe the ESCO are working on these behind ground. So I'm not going to talk anything about it. So I'm going to talk about the leadership role. The leadership roles is in you as a leader. If you are leading the team, they see that leaders in you before you present yourself. As a leader, you start from home. You have the young kids that you train. You have your family. You have your wife. I have two kids at home with my wife, and I'm married to a gender Canadian. So being married to a Canadian goes a long way, to put it a little way, just so you can understand what I'm trying to put. A leadership can lead you to a very pathway that you are satisfied. And I'll go to the value that you asked. In value, we'll bring the teamwork, transparency, and accountability. And you talked about the past executive. The past executive, they've done a great job. They've done a great job. I commend them. Where they start, where they left, is where we are going to continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll just take one more question from those online. I am sorry if I didn't. For those online, I do apologize if we do not get to your question because we are out of time. The last question from the virtual crew would be, Mr. Kazim, what are your plans in uniting all aggrieved members and those who felt joining the association isn't necessary?
This is where you have the team leadership roles. The leadership roles that will bring you an event that is eventful for kids, that brings the people of Nigerians unite. In every area that you are, the event that we are going to set as a plan for you as a community is the plan that is going to bring you together as the Nigerians. So we have the team sport that I just mentioned about volleyballs. I know we have a lot of Nigerians that kids is grown up. Playing basketball, hockey game is one of the games that are going to be set aside. And in summer camp, we're going to have some eventful for the kids and for the adults as well, too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, the last question will go to anyone in person. Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Awili Okobi. My question goes to three of you. You guys have answered all the questions very well. But have you guys thought about what are the challenges you think you're going to face as the president? And how do you think you're going to attack them or counter them? That's my question.
Thank you. We'll start with you, Jonathan. 30 seconds. Go ahead.
18 counties, 1 Nova Scotia. They'll be all represented accordingly. So my game plan as to dealing with that issue is to go and making sure that all the chapters that will be created in those 18 county seats will be met, reached out to, spoken to. If we need to visit them physically, if something that we can do pending the pandemic, we'll go there and make sure that their voices are heard. If we can make communities there that can be represented for us, right, they're going to be made, they're established there for us to have partnerships, conversations with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Goke, go ahead.
I think we all know what the challenges are, really. What my challenge will be. What are the challenges I think I encounter?
Oh, that you will encounter.
What I would say to that is, no matter whatever the challenge is, no matter whatever, listen, we live in life. The world was faced with COVID. There was no blueprint for COVID. But what happened is that the resolve of human beings to rise above challenges, and that's what we present. That regardless of whatever, as long as there's an heaven and there's an earth, there's always a solution. There is no problem with us. So the challenges that we encounter, we are ready and we are ready to fix whatever those challenges are.
Thank you
that
very
I can
much.
guarantee you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kazim, go ahead.
Thank you for that question, Mr. Awile. You are part member of the executive and the members. Every challenge, there's always a solution. In this case, we have our members that we're set up. We have a team that we can call together. We are going to call our team together, find a way to eradicate this. If it calls to having to have a meeting about it, we'll call a meeting and we'll eradicate these problems, and we'll come back to the general and tell them.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'll hand it over to my colleague, Promise.
And on this note, I want to thank the participants, the candidates, Mr. Kazim, Mr. Jonathan, Mr. Adegoke. Thank you for showing up, and we're out of time on this segment. Thank you. You might come down again from that platform. Thank you. Welcome. So this event is organized independently by M4 Media, just so you know. And we want to take this time to thank all of you who participated in this year 2022 ANNS electoral debate. First candidate, the in-house attendees, and online members and friends of ANNS. So, again, I want to thank the technical crew, those who are working behind the scene to ensure that things go smoothly on today's event. Without taking much of our time, ladies and gentlemen, to give us a closing mark, we'd like to invite Bob Shagbamu, the president, the outgoing president, ANNS. Please put your hands together for him as he gives us closing remarks.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for giving enough time to the event. The participants, thank you so much for all that you've promised us to do. We'll be watching from the side. We plan to step aside as soon as you guys are elected. We promise to support in any way that we deem it fit. I want to remind us of the impact that Nigeria has made in Canada, especially Nova Scotia, in the past few years. The worlds are listening, and they are listening positively. And part of the feedback we've gotten is the fact that they've never witnessed any black race that has come organized, that are resilient, that are here to stay, no crime, no fight, and everybody is doing what they can do in the community. This is a feedback, and based on that, there was a request for the incoming president of the ANNS to meet the premier. That arrangement has been made, so whoever among the three of you, I am ready to make that happen, and it's going to happen in the month of March, as soon as you set in. Okay, I would also like to make an announcement about the election, as the case may be. The election date is 26, so please try as much as possible to mark that date. It's going to be online 100%. We trust the electoral team. They've been independent. They've gotten us to this stage. So kindly support them by making your vote available. in the month of February, 26th of February in the next 2022. So in the next few days, it will be election day. But prior to that, you need to register. And for you to register, just send your names, just your names. There's a master list with the electoral team. Just send your name to annselection@gmail.com. annselection@gmail.com. If you want to register, just send your name, then they give you the voting details with which you will vote on the 26th. And the registration ends on the 21st of this month, and that is in the next few days, midnight of the 21st of February 2022. So in the absence of any other issue, we want to thank each and every one of you once again for the opportunity to have, that we have given to the people that are contesting. They've said all they want to say, and we wish them the very best of luck. So on that note, on behalf of myself and the ESCO, we'll leave the podium. Thank you.
We would like to also thank all our sponsors, Mr. Sheyi Ajetomobi, FT Dishes, Flenjo Foods, Williamba Production, Mitchnat Fashion House, Topsy Crunchy Snacks, and Simply Go Natural. This event wouldn't have been successful without your sponsorship.
But one more thing for the road is a question here. When was the first ANNS registered with Nova Scotia joint stock? If you have that answer, there's a gift here for anyone, online and in-house. When was the first ANNS registered with Nova Scotia joint stock? Okay, looks like we have someone here.
1986.
What day a month?
That was June 11th, 1986.
Oh, President, you didn't get that right. Anyone else? You probably got something there right, but one other part? Well, it looks like we have a consensus here that this one is going to the President because he got the month and the year. Please put your hands together for Babs, Shobamu, Papa Yankee. Thank you, everyone. Take care and see you at the pool. Bye.